Search. Sorry, I'm still hooking up. Let's see if anyone could get on. I don't know. We're going to find out. Went right to add. See if this thing works. Ads. All right, so we should be on live right now. Let's see if it starts telling people 4:30. Sitting in the truck, trying to hold on to the Wi-Fi as close as humanly possible. It's very windy out. The screen's going to have a little shake. Hello, first two people. Good to see you. Welcome. Hello. Hello. What's up, High Voltage? How you doing, buddy? Just give me a quick mic check. Is the mic working well? Peter, how you doing? Good to see you. You guys got to bear with me. I don't know if this is going to work in the truck the whole time or not with Wi-Fi. It was kind of hard signing on here. So we're going to see. We're also going to get a lot of shake in the screen today, so don't throw up. We don't want you to throw up out there. We are sitting in the truck. It's comfortable. So, yeah, let's go through some of these comments because people are starting to sign on now. I think it took a minute to sign on. So if you're watching this later, maybe an issue. So High Voltage, what's going on? Peter, how you doing? Gil, what's up? Alexi, I'm doing great. Hope you're doing great. Mike is working. Thank you very much. Joseph, howdy. Another 2022 owner right there. Lots of questions for him. Benjamin, how you doing, buddy? Peter says, tell me about that beautiful truck. You are in love. Everything you want it to be and more. We could talk about that. I have pros and cons for sure so far. Chuman says, yes, thank you very much. Jolene, how you doing? Loud and Clear says, High Voltage, good stuff. This mic it's hit or miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Here's one more question for you, and I'm going to ask this throughout the whole thing. How's the connection? Are we good as far as connection goes? Are we having any issues? Again, when I was trying to set this thing up, the Wi-Fi, we're outside of my house right now, so it doesn't work so great outside. It's hit or miss. So please keep me informed if we start getting choppy. If it gets too annoying, we're just going to go into the office and do it in there. Joshua, what's up, buddy? Hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much. Chris, how you doing? Gil said, excuse me. Gil says, sounds good. Nice. Miss says, how you doing? Hello, how are you? Reg, what's going on? North Carolina in the house. I like it. Dylan says, hello from Oregon. Connection sounds good. Awesome. No issues with the connection. Keep me informed. Thank you very much. DE. K-Ray says, looking good. Check, check. We're good, says Jim. Good. All right, good. A lot of goods there. Goods are good. This is a weird time. I'm trying to do this while the sun is still up. And let me just show you. This is what you guys don't understand. When you are someone who does YouTube, anything outside, I swear my life is a movie sometimes. I'm coming out here to set up. I'm like, oh, great. It's been cloudy all day. No sun whatsoever. Perfect amount of lighting. It was perfect. I wouldn't have the sun on me right now. The minute I started to play around with the screen, sun comes in, and now we're dealing with that. But the Wi-Fi is working, and hey, that's a great thing. It's super windy out. Couldn't even film the video I was going to film today because it's so windy out. But I didn't plan for that to go up until tomorrow, so I'll just shoot it early tomorrow morning. We are sitting in the truck. I did a very long ride with no cameras today by myself because after I shot the video yesterday, I wanted to go out and kind of just see the pros and cons for myself without a camera on and just really pay attention to what I was doing, play around with some of the drive modes to see if I could find something I like in the truck. You know, overall, it is a great experience. We're going to go through that. There are pros and cons, absolutely, but I know Joe's on here. Joe is a 2022 owner as well. He could chime in and disagree or agree with me on some stuff as well. But overall, it is a beautiful truck and very comfortable. The seats are one of the biggest pros in this thing. Very comfortable to sit in. Good bolstering. You're down in the seat, not necessarily sitting on top. I felt like some of the last gen seats, you were kind of sitting on top versus sitting down in the seat. This has more of like a sports car feel to it, so that's awesome. Once again, just for the people signing on, screen's going to have a little bit of shake to it the whole time. I'm using a clamp that I use down on my desk normally, but every time I move or the truck moves from the wind, you're going to get that little bit of shake. So bear with me, but I thank you guys for being here. Wanted to make sure I do a live stream a few times while this 2022 is in my possession until next Friday, just to keep you guys up to date on my thoughts. Because like I said in yesterday's video, if you didn't see that, it was like a 30-minute first impressions. It included the Army Green TRD Pro, which is directly in front of us right now. So feel free to go check that video out and give me some of your thoughts. But I plan to constantly update you on how I feel through the process. It's not just kind of a one and done thing. I'm going to drive this truck all week. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Daytona 500. Daytona 500 is my day. But every other day, I'm going to drive this truck and figure out what I like and dislike. But yeah, so go check that video out. But let me catch up on everybody real quick, and then we'll get talking about it. If you have any questions, feel free to start writing them. If you would like to let me know where you're coming from today, let me know. Let's see what we got. All right, so, and that's the other problem with the sun. Now it's hard to read the phone. You rated the truck as 6. Will you update that today? I mean, I can update that. I did a long drive today, and I found some really good things about the truck. 6.2 is yesterday, so we will go from there. But Andrew, remind me that in a little bit. Let me get caught up on everybody, but we will talk about that and the pros and cons. Peter says, mic is loud and clear, quality of picture and sound, and everything is good to go. Nice. Trinity says, appreciate your 6.2 out of 10 initial review. Honest. I'm telling you, I'm not playing around. I mean, if I like it, I'm going to tell you I like it. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you I don't like it. You got to remember, and I'm going to time out reading the comments. I do have something to say about that. It depends on what side of the aisle you're on with this, but, you know, a lot of the 14 to 21 owners say that I've basically dissed them and I don't like that truck anymore, and all I do is talk about the 2022. Couldn't be further from the truth. I love the 14 to 21 so much. You have no idea. In fact, because of my love for the 2020, but the 14 to 21, I hold the 2022 highly accountable to steal me away from the 2020 or that generation Tundra. One thing is, though, it is the new generation. We've been waiting for it for years. There's going to be a lot of talk about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But that doesn't mean anything about the 14 to 21s. I'm in love with those. That 2020 sitting directly in front of me that I keep staring at in the corner of my eye, I am heavily in love with, my favorite Tundra I've ever owned. And that is because of the love I have for that truck. This truck is taking on a heavy-duty review, and I'm going over everything with this. And I'm doing it more on a personal Tundra enthusiast myself level than someone that makes videos for you guys. Like, I want to see if I like the truck. What do I like about the truck? You know, because I've driven Tundras for a long time, so I want to see the good, the bad, and the ugly for myself. Because don't forget, as much as I'm trying to help you guys with, you know, spending your hard-earned money the right way, I'm doing it for myself as well. I don't have $65,000 to shell out on something I'm not going to like, so I want to make sure that it's something I absolutely love to spend that kind of money. I'm no millionaire. I unload trucks for a living, okay? So blue collars, they come, and, you know, if I'm going to spend money, I want to make sure I spend it good, and I want you guys to do the same as well. So there is a lot of focus on 2022, but my love for the 14 to 21s and even the 07 to 13s and the first gen is amazing. Trust me, I love those trucks more than anything. So please know that. But when this 2022 came out, there was so much to dissect and talk about. You know, things that I talked about with Toyota long before the 2022 came out. And I wanted to make sure that, you know, that was held accountable as well. One thing I said that we talked about in a video the other day, I said Toyota needs to make more videos, or excuse me, more commercials for the Tundra with the next generation. If they want to sell more Tundras, people have to know they exist. Because I can't tell you how many times I was in my TRD Pro and people were like, what is this? I was like, oh, it's a Tundra, Toyota. Like, Toyota still makes the Tundra? Because there's never commercials. So now you're seeing 2022 commercials everywhere. So that's a good thing for the brand, for Toyota. Sip of water, and then I'll get back to the comments. Let's roll. All right. What kind of MPGs are you getting so far in that 2022? So far, 14 and change. 14 and change in the ride I took yesterday and today. I think it was 14.6. That's by the computer, not by any pump-to-pump calculations. Ellie says, Dallas, Texas, loud and clear, just got off of work. How's it going? Not bad, buddy. Thank you for being here. Just getting blinded by the sun that wasn't out all day until I hit record to do this thing. Having had a chance to watch your first review of the truck, or you haven't had a chance. Okay, well, check it out. Let me know what you think. Michael, what's going on? Antonio says, out with family today. Catch a stream later. Greetings from SoCal. Antonio, enjoy yourself, buddy. Ignacio says, what's up, Tundra Dude? How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Joseph said, agreed, very comfortable, love the armrest. So if you have any questions for me about the 2022, Joseph Kraft is the guy to go to as well. He's owned one for a while now. Living the Dream says, Turbo Shake LMAO. Yeah, the truck is not on right now. We can turn it on at some point if you want, though. Greg says, howdy. Keith says, hey, from Nova Scotia, Canada. How you doing, buddy? Canada in the house. Michael says, if I ever buy this model of Tundra, I'm swapping the front end to the 23 Sequoia front end. A lot of people have said that so far. Raptor, what's going on, buddy? Hey, dude, love the truck. I love both trucks, the one I'm staring at and the one I'm in. Sergeant Derek says, once your trucks hits production, was it pretty much on time after that. Supposed to be a dealership arrival on March 7th, I believe. This is a press loan I'm in right now. This was given to me by Toyota for a week to do reviews on. I do not own this truck. But people are getting their truck, it depends on what part of the country you're in, of course, fairly close to when it's being said, maybe within a week. So week or two. Just keep up with your salesman, and they should have the number for you. They were coming out of what I read. I don't know if this is 100% true or not, but what I heard was COVID hit really hard down at TMMTX like a month ago, and there was like a stoppage for a minute there. So I think everything's starting to catch back up again. Ignacio says, I love the 2012. Yeah, the 07 to 13 5.7 had a nice little kick to it for sure. Greg says, I love my 2017. No reason not to. 2017 is the last year before, can't talk. 2017 is the last year before Toyota Safety Sense. Keep that in mind. Excuse me. Reg said, you made a statement on your previous video about the interior felt smaller than your truck. Still feel that way. After the drive today, do you still feel like that after the drive today? I'm sitting in it right now. It's not small to the point where I feel like I'm too tight. As I said in yesterday's video, I like the fact that I'm separated from everything. It's just me, driver compartment like a cockpit. It doesn't feel constrictive in any way, shape, or form. It's just a little bit smaller in here as far as like reach across and everything than that truck in front of us, which is the 2020. I don't think it's bad. I mean, the back seat, people keep asking about how big is the Crew Max back seat. The back seat doesn't look awful. I'll try to pull this thing off. Hopefully we don't lose connection. I'm, trying to make it so we can get through this live stream completely in the truck, but I know this isn't going to do much justice, but with the sun. But there's the back seat. I don't know how much you could see with the sun kicking in. It's pretty much the same thing as the last Tundra. That sun really sucks, doesn't it? Hold on, let me flip this thing around so you can see what we're doing here. You're not going to see it until I move that. There we go. So this is what we got going on. Boom, big screen. You don't even understand how big this screen is. You don't understand. It is insanely big as far as a screen in a vehicle goes. I'm actually a little bit shocked. Let me put you back here so we can keep going. That it's that big. On TV or, everything I've seen the screen on, it never looked that big, but that thing is, it's a big screen. That's an IMAX screen right there. But yeah, it does feel a little bit smaller in here, but not to the point of disliking it. It's just not as wide as the other one. Everything as far as infotainment and all that stuff I can reach, no problem. It's a comfortable truck to drive. Joe can tell you that as well. Putting your arm on the center rest here, and the shifter's awesome. I like the shifter a lot more than the old one. Very comfortable truck to drive for sure. DE says, I feel like the 2022 is manic in the frigid -40 temps in the north. I wonder how laggy that giant screen will get in the cold. That's a great question. I wonder as well. Good one. And I'm nowhere near any -40 or anything like that, but yeah, it gets cold up here too. So that's a good question. Benjamin says, loving my 2014 until it was totaled. Now I love my 2021. Hey, Mark, I work in a factory, so I feel you. Hey, listen. I wouldn't change it for the world. I like hands-on stuff like that. David says, how is the headroom in the new gen compared to the last gen? The last gen feels like you sit very high, wondering if that changed. I don't feel like I sit as high, but my seat might be super low. Let me see if I can adjust. I'll go all the way up if I can here. Bye. We're going up. So you could sit super high. My head is still not touching. We're going. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't have a sunroof or anything in it, but this one, I feel like I'm not sitting as high. Now I can't get the thing back down. There we go. It's like, oh, I'm going to be stuck all the way on the windshield the whole time. Nah, feels like, ooh, I could just do this for the camera aspect of it. I feel like I sit a lot lower in this one compared to the other one, but I haven't messed with the seat too much. I kind of just found my spot and went. Let's see. Arham says, let alone design, do you like your 2020 a lot more because of the Army Green? Just a thought, since you can get a 2022 1794 with Army Green. I like the Army Green, but at the end of the day, I'm all about features. Number one for me is engine and transmission, drivability. Drivability is what I care more about anything. I want to have a good time when I drive my vehicle, especially when I spend this kind of money on a vehicle. I know it's a truck, it's meant for truck things, and that's great, but at the end of the day, 99% of the time, the thing's taking me to work. It's taking me and my wife out to dinner or to do, you know, ride bikes and everything like that. So I want to have a good time driving it. We go on a lot of trips to the mountains in the summer. I want to be able to have a good time with the truck. My 2020, I get in it every time I drive it to work. I'm still excited like it's a brand new truck. I want to feel that way in this as well. The screen yesterday blew my mind with the size of the screen. And today I started to play around with it a lot more in my long ride. It took like a 2-hour ride. And I actually like the bigger screen now just because I'm used to it. Once you get used to it, and it will take some time, you're going to start to enjoy it. I haven't driven the truck at night yet. I want to check it out at night to see if it's going to blind me. I'm sure there's you know, a night mode. Joe, Mr. Kraft, let us know. Is there a night mode on this thing so it doesn't blind you when you're driving? But no, I do love the Army Green Tundra, and I do love that color, but that's not a determining factor of between the two trucks. Mike says, I would be curious to find out the difference between 87 octane and 91 octane. I will tell you right now, if I was to own the 3.5 V6, whether it be the regular twin turbo or the hybrid version of that, I would be filling up with the higher octane. And that's just a me thing, because every vehicle I've ever seen that was turbocharged, you know, always asked for premium. So that's just old school, I guess. Timothy says, Midway, Tennessee, limited nightshade Tundra, front and rear sway bars, TRD dual exhaust. Maybe in 15 years, I'll get the EV Tundra. Love your content. Appreciate you, Timmy. You have a beautiful setup there. There's no reason to trade it. If you have it, this is the thing about the Tundra, especially the last generation Tundra. If you have a Tundra that is doing the job for you every single day, these things run forever. That 5.7 V8 is meant to go. You don't necessarily need to go out and buy something right away. Enjoy your Tundra. Do a test drive if you can. Do a long test drive if you can. And, you know, see if you like the features. Sit in these trucks. Because there are things in talking with all of the 30,000+ of you I get to talk to, which best part of the channel is talking to you guys. That's why we're doing this live stream. The best thing is to hear all the different things you guys want. Some of you tow with your truck all the time. Some of you take it to the job site. Some of you work on ranches and farms. Everyone's different with what they want. Some people don't care about a big screen like this. Some people don't care about heated, cooled seats with a heated steering wheel, which I'll be honest with you, the cooled seats are very good in this. I've tried them out. And the heated steering wheel works, yes. But like, that's what I'm saying. There's a truck for everyone out there. So if you have something you're happy with, the 5.7 V8, that generation Tundra, 07 to 21, I mean, they're built to last. There's a few million-mile Tundras out there. One's the 4.7, one is the 5.7, so it can go a long time if you take care of it. Thomas says, hi from Kingston, New York. I have a 2018 Limited TRD. Any recommendations on winch for off-road? I mean, Warren makes a bunch of great options out there. And if you're not in any real rush to get it, if you wait till around, I don't know, usually like Memorial Day or July 4th, a lot of the places like 4-Wheel Parts and things like that have some great sales to where you'll get a nice percentage off. So check out 4-Wheel Parts. They might have one going on now for President's Day. But Warren has always been a great company, but there's a bunch of different options out there. And usually on websites like Auto Anything and stuff, you could see reviews for each of the item if people like them or not. Definitely something to check out. A winch is a good thing to have if you're off-roading for sure. By the way, the 2022 Tundra, people talk about this all the time, excuse me, does not have tow hooks. There are no tow hooks on the 2022 Tundra. I don't have an answer for you on that one, but I will say my guess is, if I had to make an educated guess, and this is just me talking right now, I'm going to guess in the next year or two, you're going to see tow hooks back on this truck. I also think you're going to see somebody fabricate some tow hooks for this truck for sure. That's what I'm thinking. Mark, thanks for sharing opinions on the new Tundra. I'm curious to know what an actual Tundra guy thinks. Well, I appreciate you being here, bub. As always. Sir Dylan says, Mark, how does the ride compare to your dad's old Ram that has the coil springs? That's a great question. Now, I haven't driven that truck in years, but that truck drove really nice until you got to a bumpy road, and then it just seemed like it was kind of all over the place. This truck drives really nice all the time. We have the TRD Bilstein shocks on this one. I got to start changing my verbiage because I'm so used to talking about the pro stuff, so bear with me if I mess this up. We got the Bilstein shocks on this. We got the 20-inch wheel and tire package on it. Bridgestone Duelers, I believe, what are on this truck right now. And they ride great. They're very comfortable. They look awesome. They look awesome. You could see them in yesterday's video as well. We're also going to do a walk around one of these days. They look really good. They are very much all-terrain, and they have a nice sidewall on them. I thought the 20-inch wheels would make it a lot worse, you know, just with, you know, less of a sidewall. People like that fatter sidewall, but not so bad. But it rides really nice compared to the Ram. It is very on par. Bear with me on this. Very on par with the 2020 TRD Pro as far as when you get the bumps. All right, so when you're going smooth with the Fox suspension or this Bilstein suspension, and I know it's coilovers and everything, smooth is fine, everything's great. When you go on the bumps, this suspension acts as if that Fox one would, and this is a lot cheaper of a suspension. So that might be a good thing going forward. Keep that in mind. Overall, I'm still driving it around. It's a very SUV feeling truck. That's one thing I'm getting out of it. You know, the sounds, the feels, the steering is insanely tight. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's one of my cons. The steering is a little too tight for my liking. Maybe it's because I'm used to the old Tundra V8 over there. That thing is an old school feeling truck. Maybe after a while I'd get used to this. This has like sports car steering in it. I mean, super tight. Like if you could see right now in front of me, there is the TRD Pro, Army Green, and in front of that, there is a 4Runner, and this driveway has no business having 3 cars in it, especially 2 long trucks and an SUV. So it had to be a valet parker right there, and with the steering and cutting the wheel and everything, this steering wheel versus the other two, super tight. Maybe I'll get used to it, maybe I won't, I don't know. The thing is, everything's brand new to me with this truck. So, you know, we're still on day 2. Once we get through the whole week, I'll be able to give you a true pros and cons. I'm just giving you a for now, you know. That's why I went out. I don't usually do this. That's why I went out today and did like a 2-hour ride with no cameras, because I really wanted to get a feel for the old girl. I wanted to make sure yesterday's video is validated in the way I was feeling, and everything in the video yesterday still stands. I did find the driving mode that I like today. There's driving modes in this. You get eco, you get sport, you get normal. Sport is by far the way to go. If I owned this truck, it would stay in sport the whole time. It just changed the shifting and holds the gear a little bit longer, but it makes the drive a lot more enjoyable. And listen, you pay this kind of money for twin turbo, I want to hear them, and in sport you do. So that's a good thing as well. The gauge cluster, I like the gauge cluster. I was going through the screen in the middle, the little infotainment screen. It's the same type of setup as your Camry. It's a lot of the same stuff with the Camry when it comes to some of the tech and everything. So that's kind of cool. In the way of, it's easy to use and I already understand it. So that's always something too. But overall, today was a good experience with the truck. You know, like I said, I went out there, I took it in different situations and kind of just took a nice long ride in some of the twistier roads we have out here when you head out west. You know, and I took it over to do my jog in the morning and stuff. There was a lot less traffic than yesterday's video. Yeah, I put it in some situations where the best thing about this truck, I will say to you, and I said this in yesterday's video, and I'm just talking a lot because I had a lot of coffee, so bear with me. The best thing about this truck, it's not that different from last generation. Obviously, everything's teched out. We don't have a V8 anymore. They changed the body a lot. Copy that. But the feeling, I don't feel like I'm in like a car. I know I'm in a Tundra. I feel comfortable like I'm in a Tundra. Sometimes when they deliver these vehicles to me, I kind of sit there like, all right, you know, this isn't my car. Let me make sure I know what I'm doing with everything. Let me make sure, you know, just the whole thing with what works and what doesn't work, auto stop start, all that stuff. This felt like I've owned it. This felt like I got in it and, you know, I didn't feel like I'm in something extremely foreign to me. This felt great. So, by the way, if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. This is day 2 of the 2022 Tundra reviews while we have it for the week. Pretty much determining if I'm going to buy one or not. That's where we're at. So if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell, so you know every time I put up these live streams and videos. We will have a lot. There is plenty in the playlist to check out. So thank you for being here. Hit that like button. Help a bro out. Here we go. Greg says, my biggest drawback from the new gen is payload capacity. It isn't mid-size camper trailer friend, in my opinion, if you get a mid-tier package or above. So payload has been a drawback even in the last gen, right? So that's another thing that people aren't very happy about. Simeon says, hey, Mark, good to see you on again. Yes, sir. Thank you for being here. Question. Do you know if the truck is pre-wired for the bed step? I was wondering if one could purchase and install by ordering through the dealer. I will check that out. I will check that out for sure, buddy. I would think it, I don't know. That's a good question. Let me check that out for you, for sure. Hit me up on the email or hit me up on Instagram, whatever. Just private message me. Jamie says, hi, Mark. SFL, how you doing, buddy? Before we get in to the next one, can't have beer today, boys. We got water, okay? Can't have beer in here. Also, the front end swap will affect towing. Are people realizing this? The reason the grill is larger is for better cooling for 12,000 pound tow rating. There you go. We'll see how many people actually do it. Mark says, yo, Mark and Tundra Dude family. How you doing, Mark? Good to see you, buddy. Jeff says, hey, Tundra Dude, this is Jeff from Denver. Gotta love Denver. John Denver is a good man. Very sad. I'll be trading in my 2018 Tacoma for a Tundra Limited in silver, TRD off-road. Does the model you have the JBL premium sound? It does, sir. Yes, sir. 12-speaker JBL. I made a small video. I couldn't put it on YouTube today because it had music in it and because of copyright issues. It's on all of my social media platforms. We did a little test when I was driving in my 2-hour drive all over the place today. I had the music on, and I had it at the 18 level, so volume 18, and it sounded great. I adjusted the bass and everything and the treble and the mid to make it just right. I didn't have to do what I've done in old JBL systems, which is turn it up to like 30 and, really mess with those adjustments. It sounds a lot better than the old generation, in my opinion. Someone told me they didn't believe me. There's no reason for me to not tell you the truth, so I don't know. I think it's better, but you let me know. Joseph, if you're still on here, help me out with that, buddy. Benjamin says, you said you got roughly 14 to 14.6 mpg. My 2021 says it gets 12 to 12.5 on average. Do you think the extra 2 to 2.5 mpg is worth changing to a V6? I think, and this I think more than last week when I was talking about the 2022 without driving it, I think the number one thing everyone needs to do, because this truck setup 10-speed transmission and the V6 twin turbo versus the old 6-speed transmission and 5.7 V8, you have to get behind the wheel of it and see if it's worth it to you to go down into this displacement level. All right, this is a smaller displacement engine. It feels different, it sounds different, it pulls different. If that's something that you can live with, absolutely. I mean, this is the way of the future for Toyota. I don't think you'll see a V8 again. I'd love to see a V8 again. In fact, one thing I'm going to say at the end of this, so since 124 of you are on here right now, one of the things I will say at the end of this week, 2 days now, I still feel this way, they probably should have offered a V8 option in this truck for the next couple model years and then phase it out slowly. That probably would have saved a lot of negative comments that people have about this truck, because one of the biggest issues is no V8. When I've been in here, especially yesterday's video, if you saw, I drove my V8 Tundra first, pulled it in, parked it, started this one and went. That gave me a really good comparison, kind of like level playing field, because I was able to drive both and get the feeling characteristics of both, right? And one thing I felt is the V8 and this aren't far off each other. When you put this puppy in sport mode, this thing comes alive. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean the V8 doesn't do its job as well. So you really got to get behind the wheel and see if those 2 mpg are worth it to you. If you like tech, features, a more comfortable seat, this is going to be the one you want. If you like that 5.7 V8 6-speed feeling drivability, it's so hard to tell people that now which way to go, because as much as this one is different, it's kind of the same. It just feels like they refined a lot of things with this truck. So it's a very hard question. It's a very hard, not question, it's a very hard answer for you. So Benjamin, I strongly suggest get out there when they start getting a few on the lot, get behind the wheel of one, even if it's an SR5, and just drive the engine, put it in sport mode, and tell me what you think. Because 2 mpg, that's pretty close, right? And I'm gonna keep driving it and keep monitoring my mpg to see where I'm at with it. But it's gonna all come down to the drivability of the truck. Enjoy it or you don't enjoy it. Please let me know what you think. I got to take another sip of water. Throat's killing me, man. The sun's going down, so we're going to have a lot better lighting in here. All right, here we go. Keith says, have a 2017 and waiting on a 2022 Tundra Limited white. I hope cannot get whatever color you want. I mean, it's very hard to get the color you want because there's not a lot coming in right now, but nothing wrong with white. You should be good with that. It's a nice looking color. Peter says, the sun makes your face look radiant. Radiant red, like the truck should be called, right? I appreciate you. Does it make me look less fat or more fat? Don't answer that. Phil says, sounds like the hybrid will have a higher GVWR to compensate for the weight of the battery payload. I was curious about that, so that's a positive. One thing I will say, I can't wait to drive the hybrid. I cannot wait to drive the hybrid. This is a very fast truck when you put it in the sport mode. That means the hybrid is going to be stupid insane in a good way, so I'm very excited about that. I'm going to do the same thing when I get the hybrid. I'm going to take the 2020 out. And I'm going to drive it around like I did yesterday in the video, and then I'm going to get right in that hybrid. Boom. If I could luck out some way, and I know I can't, I would love to take that truck out, this truck, meaning the regular iForce, park this, and then get in the iForce Max. That would be the way to do it, to get a true back-to-back-to-back. Doing the best I can for you guys with what I can do it with. I look dapper? I appreciate you, buddy. Dapper Dan. I'm a Dapper Dan man. What movie? Impress me. I don't want FOP. I want Dapper Dan. I'm a Dapper Dan man. It's going to take 2 weeks, young fella. Jonathan says, got one for my dad about a month ago. We put about 2K miles on it. I like it so much, I'm picking up mine in a couple of weeks. There you go, buddy. Totally. You get the high five for that. That's what I'm talking about. Get out there, test drive, and go from there. Listen, we've waited so long on this next generation Tundra. So long. Anybody with me? Been doing this channel since 2016. Almost 6 years now. We've been talking about the next generation Tundra. It's here, okay? This is what we got. This is what we're working with. There's so many things to be positive about with this truck. And I know people always find the good, the bad, and the ugly. As a reviewer, I'm trying to do all of that as well. But in the same token, there's a lot of good in this truck too. And the more I drive it, the more I like it. But I still love that 2020 TRD Pro, folks. Toyota Truck Build says, I agree on the size of that screen. It looks so much bigger in person. No, for real. Let me tell you something. When I first saw the picture of the screen when they were doing all the promo stuff that I made videos on, like when they showed the interior shot of the TRD Pro for the first time, which has the big 14-inch screen here, I was like, okay, it looks kind of like a sideways Ram. You know, the Ram has that giant screen in a vertical sense. When I got in the car or the truck yesterday, I took a minute and I was like, okay, all right, that is gigantic. It's all going to come down to how it is at night, though. What is the hump sag in the headliner above your head? It looks like, I see that on both sides, it just looks like kind of like a head dip, and then it comes up again. There's no moonroof at all here, so I'm thinking that's just the design, because it kind of goes all the way around the truck like that. So here, I don't know, I'm trying to do this with where the camera is. It's up higher for my head, and then there's the little hump here. And then it gets higher for somebody's head back there, and it's the same thing on that size over there. I'm going to start the truck for a minute because I'm starting to fog up real bad. So here we go. This is your little startup here. Red TRD button, okay? Here we go. Hopefully the music doesn't come on. You probably didn't hear that because it sounded like a Camry starting, but let me make sure we're turned down on the volume and we'll keep going here. Excuse me a sec. Continue. We're on lithium there, so Red Hot Chili Peppers, if you must know. All right. Isn't the double cab small, or is it just me? From what I understand, the double cab is very small. Let me put on that there. We're going to get a little... I still don't know how to work this, so bear with me there. Fan. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to basically take everything down as far as... There's fog everywhere right now. Okay, back at it. So the double cab is fairly small. I can't wait to get my hands on one of them, or at least see one of them. The sun, full effect right now. Not only am I getting it here, in the mirror over there, right in the eyes. Why not, right? Joseph says, oh, lost my spot. Only time screen is laggy is when you're recording a video while using Apple CarPlay at the same time. Cold temps do not seem to affect how fast screen responds. Infotainment system is fantastic and colorful. Yes, I can definitely appreciate that. Hit the like button, says Mark. I agree with Mark. Good man. High Voltage says, did you try sitting in the back seats? Do they feel tighter than the 2021? Legroom, head height, etc.? That is going to be on the walk-around video. I have not sat back there yet. I'm doing that on purpose. I want you to see my first feelings. I like to do everything not ahead of time. Like, so when the truck was delivered yesterday, I could have went out and took a ride in it first and then come back and then film how I feel. But I want you guys to see me disheveled. I want you guys to see me confused, in love with it or hating it. I want you to see it all right up front. I purposely did not sit back there yet. I took a look back there, did not sit. So I want to sit back there when you guys are there so I could give you how I feel about it 100%. That'll be tomorrow or the next day. Jonathan says, yes, it should have auto night mode, or you can set it to night mode all the time. Okay, cool. Yeah, it doesn't seem too bright now. It's just black with all my options on it. Peter says, did you say you can play Netflix on that new 14-inch screen while the truck is moving or catch a football game? I hope to God they wouldn't have that on here, because people would do that, and that could get people in trouble or hurt, because that screen is, I mean, that's a mini TV for your house right there, buddy. Sean says, thanks for all the videos, Tundra Dude. Sean, thanks for watching, pal. We appreciate you. Arham says, the big screen has a dark mode, and I'm not 100% sure whether it automatically switches to that, but you can do it when you want. Okay, so he just said that as well. That's awesome. Thank you, sir. Edward says, wife just got back from the dealer and decided we can afford a lot more. Had to put the brakes on her. Oh, copy that, buddy. No big deal. Another thing we should bring up, because you said brakes there, the brakes in this are very good. Very, very good compared to the old truck. I'm so used to the 5.7 brakes that this one took a hot minute to get used to. But the brakes in here are insanely good. I don't know if they're any bigger or anything, but this truck stops on a dime, but not annoyingly on a dime, a nice slow coast. Let's see. Okay, so Joseph just says, yes, it switches to night mode automatically, never blinds me. Just the glare from the sun. Yeah, I'm getting that right now. Off that white hood when sun hits it right every once in a while. Gotcha. Andrew says, can you address some of the build quality issues that people are posting about? What have you seen so far? I mean, well, so people are talking about wastegate issue, which I've mentioned a bunch of times because people always want to hear about the wastegate issue. There's just no information out there that's official information other than folks that are going through it. But as far as number of Tundras that it's affecting, last I heard was it wasn't a big amount of Tundras, but I haven't heard anything in a while. And I don't want to spread, I keep telling people this, I don't want to spread misinformation. I don't want to create a video just to create a video. When I have information on the wastegate issue, I'll let you know. One thing I did see online is somebody got their turbo replaced without them removing the body. They went from under the truck. That made a lot of people happy out there. Some people are talking about fitment issues around the truck. I went back there and checked my rear bumper yesterday, just when the truck came. I just took a quick walk around it. And it looked fine to me, but I could see where there would be fitment issues with that. As far as fit and finish and everything in here, there's no creaking, there's no anything. One thing I noticed today, the wind noise in here is a lot more than the 2020 that I drive every day. There's a lot more wind noise. So I was actually to the point where I was checking windows to make sure everything was up. So I'll keep my eye on that one. Mark has donated $5 to the channel saying Tundras rock. Mark, we appreciate you. Thank you for your donation to the channel. And on that note, I want to give a cheers to all the men and women out there who are in the armed forces and emergency services of this great country. We don't have the patch wall behind us right now because we're sitting in the 2022. But thank you for your service every day in the United States and Canada. We love you. Keep on keeping on. Unfortunately, that's a water's cheers today because we're sitting in a vehicle that I don't own. Are the seats cooled or ventilated like the previous gen? All right, so it says ventilated, but I'll be honest with you. I just put them on right now, and I already feel the cold. And they're cold. And it goes all the way up your back, not just at your butt and the lower part. I feel like the last gen, it was down on your butt and just at your lower back. I feel it up here. If you listen carefully, you can hear them. And it's nice and cool. So I'll say that. They're ventilated, but they feel good. Now I'm feeling it. My butt, everything feels good. Actually, I might leave that on for a little while. Put that down to 2 instead of 3. All right, Mr. says, I just answered that. Okay, Rodeo Magic. How you doing, buddy? Hey, Mark, having dinner, saw your live stream. Got to tell you, if you get the TRD Pro 2022, I'll be very disappointed. You talk so much about the 1794. Why then don't you act on it? Come on, dude, do it. I don't know what I'm doing. Here's my issue with the 1794. I love the truck to death. You know I love the interior and everything about it. I don't like the chrome at all. I know it's stupid, but I don't like chrome on the outside of the truck. So if I can't replace that, I would be unhappy. But I don't know what I'm doing yet. You know, this truck having this week is going to be a big deal of where I go forward. I really like the aspects of some things about the Pro. I like a lot about the 1794. I have a 1794. You'd be seeing it right now if we were downstairs in the basement. I have a 1794 seat. 2022 Tundra 1794 seat that I made into an office chair. So that's pretty cool. But I'll let you know. Rodeo, don't get mad at me, buddy. Don't get mad at me. Lee says, working on tow hooks. Yeah, let's get on some tow hooks, bro. I can't wait to see somebody do it. Lee, if you're the first one to do it, I'm going to be very happy. You've already done so much work to your Tundra, so why not, right, buddy? Jim says, how does this compare to the Ford 3.5 twin turbo if you've driven it? I have driven a 3.5 twin turbo. Okay, so I like that you asked that question. The 3.5 twin turbo Ford, I feel like this has a lot more potential. I know that sounds weird. The Ford felt great, don't get me wrong, a lot of speed. The 2.7 EcoBoost felt good as well. This one feels like it has more spring, but it's more controllable in sport. So a lot of times, I don't know, people, feel free. Let me know if I'm stupid or not here, but in the vehicles that I've driven, if you put a car or a truck in sport mode or some kind of mode like sport, it's very jumpy. It's very jumpy. It's not a comfortable ride. This thing, when it's in sport, it's still comfortable. It's just when you put your foot on the pedal a little bit, she comes alive. And I feel like that's where the 3.5 Ford was missing. I feel like the Ford was a lot more jumpy. This is a more refined driving experience. Very fast when you want it to be. And I'm talking in sport mode. In normal mode, it's always nice and easy. Even when you put your foot on the pedal, you'll still get a lot of power, but it's not the same as when you're in sport when you want all the power. So this is way more refined to me than the 3.5 from Ford. And that's a high five to Toyota because that's been around a while. When did I drive that 3.5? It was probably around 2018, 2017, something like that. So it has been a while. Arham says, Mark, just wondering, have you considered a TRD Sport 2022 Tundra? Excuse me. I see that you're not off-roading much or at all. I used to off-road all the time, but New Jersey got weird with their rules off-road. I'd love to take all of these things off-road. There's just no places to go up by me anymore. I like the Sport. I like the Sport a lot. But if I'm going in the direction of the Sport, at that point, I'd rather just keep on going on to the 1794 because I like the 1794 so much, and I've never owned one. Toon says, can this model be manipulated like using lift kits and such? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it can. There's already folks out there. Lee, who we were talking to just a few minutes ago, I made a video on him about a week and a half ago. He put 37s and a small lift on his, I can't talk, on his Tundra. Looks great. 2022, I believe he has a TRD Sport. Correct me if I'm wrong. Beautiful setup he had on there, and he went all the way. 37s are no joke. First thing I would do, and be honest with you, first thing I would do by owning this truck is I would go find 2 cold air intakes to put on this thing for the twin turbo setup, or if it only takes one, I would do one, and you would hear those turbos whistling. That would be what I would do. Sergeant says, I saw a few videos where people are saying the best bang for your buck is the SR5 with all the upgraded packages. I said that as well. Basically makes it a higher trim minus the cooled seats. That's what mine is, $56,000. I am one of the biggest fans and proponents of the SR5 Tundra, especially in this generation. I applaud Toyota so much because you can make it exactly what you want it to be. You could get very close to a Limited. We're sitting in a Limited right now. And this does have more options, but the things that it's missing, a lot of people may not care about. Heated, cooled seats. You could get heated seats, heated steering wheel in the SR5. You can't get cooled seats. You could get the 14-inch screen. I don't believe you could get JBL. There's small things you can and can't get. You can't get a moonroof. This doesn't even have one. Blew my mind, by the way. Blew my mind. I believe this truck stickers at 60-something. It's like 60,800. I don't have the window sticker. That'll be in my next video. But at that price point, I would expect at least the little sunroof. Maybe not the pano. I don't know, man. That's just me, though. And I will tell you, we've been sitting in this car now for 45 minutes, plus all of the cursing and profanity I use trying to set everything up. So give that another 10 minutes. I'm still very comfortable in this seat. Very, very comfortable. The truck is on right now. It's nice and quiet, so if you like a quiet vehicle, that's the way to go. We got the defrost on and the cooled seats, which feel awesome. Joseph says, electronic steering seems very tight. Good call. Drives very straight. Highway driving is smooth and easy, especially when you use the adaptive cruise control. There you go. That's why you're here, buddy. You're a good helper today. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, electronic steering for sure. Tighter. I think I'm just used to the old school setup because in that truck, man, when I'm backing it in and stuff, getting that wheel to spin, you know. This one, you don't have to do any of that. Mike S says, have you tried sport mode with tow haul mode on? Supposed to make it feel more responsive. I'll try that. I haven't tried that yet. Have to check down there. I love that, by the way, the rodeo dial. Rotary dial, not rodeo. The rotary dial down here with the drive mode, tow haul, the crawl control, and the multi-terrain select. I think that's awesome. Very easy to use. You don't have to take your eyes off the road. I'm a fan. Everything down here, everything with the shifter, the center console, the wireless charger, everything down here is a great setup. I'm a fan of all of this down here. The wireless charger, the phone bounced off a few times and stopped charging. Every wireless charger I've ever used, it's done that. It's done that. So I can't blame Toyota for that one, but yeah, I love the setup down here. Like the center stack, I was saying this in yesterday's video, from the screen down is very Toyota looking to me. When you look at like the Highlander, when you look at the Ravs, the Camrys, the Corollas, it has that same kind of setup, but it's a great setup. Everything is easy to touch. You don't have to look. It's there. Climate control, it's like this in all the Toyota vehicles. Everything looks and performs well. So high five to them on that one. Samuel says, in line for my limited off-road maybe next month. Samuel, let me know. We're in a limited off-road right now. I'm enjoying it. This is the most comfortable live stream I've ever had, I'll be honest. Although I do have that 1794 seat down there to play with. This is very comfortable. I'm happy in it. Let's see. Jason says, thanks, no problem, buddy. Dude Man says, that's a good name. Turning radius versus second gen. I'm glad you asked that, because today I did make a U-turn in the same spot. I always make a U-turn where I jog in the old gen. And in the old gen, I never have to cut back and K-turn it. In this, I did have to do that today, doing the same exact move I do every single time. So I'm going to say the turning radius, this one feels a little bit larger. It's not a lot, but it's enough to make me have to go into that K-turn versus just doing a full U. Keep that in mind. Jimmy, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. If you're just signing on, thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're having fun in a 2022 Tundra for a week. Couldn't be happier. We're having a good time. We're learning the likes, the dislikes, all the stuff. And we're seeing at the end of the day if it's time to buy a 2022 Tundra. So keep watching. This is, by the way, in case anybody just signed on, this is the regular iForce 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. Puts out a lot of horsepower, more than the old gen. It feels like the old gen. When you put it in sport mode, she comes alive, as we learned today. Jolene says, so after driving the truck, do you consider it a world changer? So game changer and world beater were the two things I heard. No, I don't consider it a game changer. I like what they did. I like what they did so far. I think they brought the truck right up to where a lot of the other trucks are. I think I'm going to hold off by using the, the game changer and all that type of stuff until I get in the hybrid. I feel like the hybrid is going to be the thing that wows everyone with the power, because this thing's fast. I'll be honest with you. This thing is very fast. But when you get up into the hybrid, that's even faster, has more horsepower, more torque. That thing might be a monster, and that might be where they're talking about the game changers aspect of it. Love what they've done, though. I mean, there are a lot of things in this truck that I like a lot. Seats are number one. You need good drivability. You need good seats, okay? Because all this tech is fun, and the truck getting down the road's fun. But when you're going on those long trips, you need to be comfortable, and the truck needs to drive right. You don't want to be bouncing all over the road. The suspension is really refined, and I'm blessed because I have a Fox suspension on my 2020, and that is an amazing suspension. This is right on par with that, and this suspension is a lot cheaper of a suspension versus that, so keep that in mind. Joseph says, PVM is awesome. I got to take a sip of water. I got the throat going again. Spencer says, by the way, this truck has blind spot monitoring. It's got the parking sensors going and everything. I'm not used to blind spots because my 2020 Pro doesn't, so I always look anyway, but it does have it. Mirrors, I said this in yesterday's video. Mirrors are amazing, just like last generation. Tundra always has the best mirrors. Huge. They're like TV screens, and that's what you want when driving a vehicle like this. I don't want to hit anybody because you do have a blind spot over here like you do. Oh, sorry, you can't see my hand. You have a blind spot over there in the back right like you do in every big vehicle. Spencer says, how about pre-wired for back seat chargers? If I order an SR5 and want to add later, that's a great question. What does this have? I can't see. Feels like there's something back there. We got the old school cigarette charger. We have the USBs. That's a good question. It might be pre-wired. We'll have to ask. Joseph says, my MPG improved drastically after breaking it in. Oh, I'm sure. It was like a switch was flipping right after 1,000 miles. And keep in mind when we talk about MPG with the truck, I'm driving the thing in sport mode. All right, that changes, the MPG factor a lot. Keep that in mind. And I'm driving it spiritedly because it's a new truck. Jason says, hey, Tundra Dude, I'm in Denver. What's your thoughts on best tires for this truck? 10 ply on icy roads and pulling a camper also. I don't think I could give you a true opinion on that until I drive the truck a little more, but I will tell you, I'm very impressed with the dualers that are on here. Nice all-terrain, but they're not too aggressive to where a camper would be an issue. I think they've done their homework on the tires with the next generation Tundra. Don't forget, the Wild Peaks are on the TRD Pro. So that's another good thing. But as far as tire choice for going into this truck, I don't know. I'd have to look around a little bit. I'd have to drive the truck a little bit more to get a good feel. But at the end of the day, the tires on here are very nice. Elijah says there's no replacement for displacement. Rock and roll. That's still a thing. XX says V8 or the V6 V8 with the 10-speed transmission would have got the same gas mileage. I think the problem is, and what a lot of people don't get yet, and this is just the way the world is, I guess, V8s are going to start to go away. EPA environmental laws, emissions laws, it's just making it harder for manufacturers to put out V8s. It's a very sad day. I'm a V8 fan. I think Toyota just jumped ahead and got rid of their V8 sooner than some of the others. I don't know the answer why, but I don't know. Could you fit a V8 in this big hood? I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. I want to see someone do that. Drop a 5.7 in this. Arham says there is a rumored hydrogen V8 coming to the Tundra later in a couple of years, though right now it is being tested in the Land Cruiser. That'd be something. Hydrogen, that's insane. Joseph says JBL sound system sounds good. I think turning off surround sound and kicking up bass and treble in settings makes a better sound. Not aftermarket amazing, but it gets the job done well. Yeah, happy with JBL. Listen, I listen to a very wide range of music. I like Iron Maiden. I like a little Slayer, Marilyn Manson. That's when I'm in that mood. I'm also a huge Beatles and oldies fan. I like Elton John and Billy Joel. I'm all over the place with my music. So I just want a little bit of functionality with that. It doesn't need to be the best system in the world. I will tell you, this JBL had my mind blown at one point today because I was putting on Ronnie James Dio, which is another big one of mine. And it sounded amazing. Just enough bass to make it right. Vanilla Ice came on at one point. Ice Ice Baby. You can't turn it off. It's in the book. You have to keep it on. With the bass bumping, you know, it sounded good. Everything sounded good so far. So I can't be mad. If I want to listen to my oldies, you know, you're not going to really care about bass. There's not much bass in it. If I want to listen to a little Johnny Denver, if I'm in that mood, it did the job well today. That system in the 2020, the JBL, is fine. The only issue I have with that JBL is when you roll the windows down, it just drowns out the system, and you have to turn it way up to even have it in a mode where you're happy. This is not the case with this one. You can tell that they called JBL and said, you got to do something about this, and they took care of business, because this is a pleasure. You see what happens when I have coffee right before we do the live stream? I don't shut up. Fazal says, hi, Mark. How you doing, buddy? I don't think we have a choice. There are no 2021s on the lot. We have to go with the 2022 V6. And I think down the road, people will start, if you're not a fan of the V6 yet, and I'm this right now, kind of in the middle, we're gonna learn to love it. I get to drive this thing for a week and figure out if I like it or not. Today was a positive experience with me and this engine. Today was a positive experience with me and this truck and the driving it a long time and just enjoying the truck, not worried about making a video on the truck or anything like that. Just hanging out, listening to some music, cup of coffee, just taking it wherever, enjoying it. I enjoyed it a lot. I really did. And, I found the things in it, the setups that I like in it. Like I said, sport mode was amazing. There's things in it I like. There's things in it I change. The gauge cluster is the old school looking gauge cluster. I think I would want the digital gauge cluster just because if you're going to spend the money, I want to get all the good stuff. But I mean, this truck is nicely loaded. If you've been a Tundra fan or a user for a long time, this thing, I said yesterday in the very beginning of my video, I feel like I'm coming from a World War II plane to like a 777 Boeing right now. Like, this thing has a lot of stuff in it. Here's one for you. I'm going to go out and make this claim right now. I feel like the setup in here is a lot better than the Ford F-150 setup. Everything here is usable and to the point. Everything has a point. It's easy to understand. It's easy to reach. In the Ford, I felt like there are a lot of buttons that they're placed weird. So I like the setup in this a lot more. I think this was done with a lot more time. They took it, they said, look, this is what we had in the old gen Tundra. Keep it fairly similar. That's what I'm getting out of this. There still is a lot of old gen in this, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Keep that in mind. It's snowing a little bit out here right now. Just a tad, just a little flurry. But like, I still see a lot of stuff that remind me of the old gen. It's just laid out nice. Fan of that. Keith said at 5:01. What time is it? It's 5:26. This is how behind I am in comments because there's so many of you today. That's a good thing. Keith said I look dapper. So I'm sorry I'm so behind. We're going to go and shut the truck off for a moment. By the way, it's a TRD, so the red TRD button is pretty cool. Truck is now off. We were on for 22 minutes, and I have 0 MPG. Please keep that in mind. Oh, brother, where art thou? Thank you, Mark. Benjamin got it, too. So proud of you guys. Elijah says, picked up a 2018 SR5 TRD off-road. I like the 2022s, but there just wasn't enough to push me that way. Copy that, buddy. There really isn't out there right now. Jim says, hopefully this isn't dumber than a bag of hammers. Same, no. Hopefully it's not. Chris says, she done runned off. Jason says, feelings. Whoa, feelings. Problem is I'm so behind. I apologize. Let me get back on this. Here we go. Scott says, how would you rate the comfort feel of that limited Softex seat to the 1794 leather seat chair you made? Listen, I'm glad you said that because I said this when I was downstairs setting up. Because I also set up downstairs because I felt like I wouldn't be able to do this. I thought the Wi-Fi, I've tried to do this outside a few times. I thought it wouldn't work out to where we could do the in the truck stuff today, but we did. We could do this all the time if you want. I just have to back the truck up a certain way. So if you want more live streams in the truck, we can do it. But your question, I feel like this seat is better than the 1794 one I have downstairs, but that might be because the 1794 one I have downstairs is on a plank of wood. So this in the truck with the springs under me and everything, it feels great. That feels a little tighter. You know, that's the super perforated high-end leather. This is the Softex, but this Softex is it's really well put together. The seats are the best. The seats are definitely better than the old one. Jim says, I love my 4.6 liter in my 2016. Wish they just kept that engine. I thought that might have been the V8 that stayed. I thought of that a while ago. Terrence says, what's up, dude? And I know you've been here a long time. I hope you're still there. How you doing, pal? Good to see you. James says, new watcher thinking about what to buy. Well, welcome aboard, James. There's a lot of options out there. We're sitting in, if you're interested in the Tundra, you're here, so you probably are. This is the Limited, and we've been saying for a long time, regardless of generation of Limited, the Limited is the best of both worlds. It saves you a little money from going all the way up to the top, to the 1794, you know, the pros of the world, the Platinum, now the Capstone. This is right in the middle. It's like an SR5, but you could get a lot of luxury features on it. Although I will say now the SR5, you could get a lot of luxury on that. Save yourself a few $1,000s. Build the stuff on Toyota.com. Take your time, build them all out. There's also a hybrid engine coming in the spring, and good news, Limited and up, you can have the hybrid. You can't have it at SR5. So if you like the Limited, that's a good place to start. Elijah says, saw a 2022 Platinum on the lot saw a 2022 Platinum on the lot while test driving a Highlander with the wife. Two-wheel drive going for over $70K, and that includes the $7,500 markup. Too much. Not a fan of the markup. Benjamin says, wow, $70K for two-wheel drive, that's crazy high. I agree. Terrence says, just getting here, but I watched your previous video. Maybe it felt smaller to you because no sunroof. I don't know. I was trying to understand if I got fatter between the 30 seconds from when I got into that truck into this truck. Could have happened. You never know. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels a little bit smaller in here. And like I said, it's not small to the point where you're like, oh, this is a Tacoma now. It just feels like the truck kind of, you're not going to be able to see my angle good here, but if the old truck was this, right, and this is the roof of the old truck on the inside, it feels like this has more of a curve to it now. Like it curves in a little more than the old one. The old one's just boom, big, you know, big windshield, walls on the side. That's the way it is. This one has more of a turning into it. I'm actually looking at the old truck right now. the windshield, I said yesterday, has that Camaro look to it. It has like kind of a design to it now versus the old window. And, you know, it just seems a lot more sleek, and that might be it. It might be an optical illusion, but it does feel a little bit smaller in here. Nothing too crazy, nothing that would turn anyone away from the truck, just a little bit smaller. Terrence says, dude, keep your 2020 Army Green Monster. Wait for 2025. I'm not buying an EV. I'm telling you right now. Matthew says, I can't wait to see a 2022 Lunar Rock Pro already. Same here, buddy. Hopefully in my driveway. Wiley says, my 2022 SR5 is going in Wednesday for the wind noise issue. See, it's not just me. Let's see. James says, I've seen a lot of high mileage F-150s. Time will tell how the 2022 will last. I think once they get over the initial issues they're having with the turbos and everything, there's going to be a fix out there for that eventually. I think they will be able to move forward the way they want to. Right now, they're kind of stuck in that. We don't have the part. There's a part shortage going on around the country right now. And it's not just turbos and parts for turbos. It's a tough time. I give Toyota a lot of credit on one thing. And, you know, whether you like the 2022 or not, be right down the middle on this one, because I feel like everyone should agree on this. This was a very, very tough time to come out with a new generation vehicle where you're going to have all new parts when nothing is readily available. There's fuel cost rises going on. There's everything. This is just not a good time. Ever since COVID, we had, you know, the part supply issue, the chip shortage issue. The lots are empty. This is unprecedented for the automotive industry. What a weird time to come out with a new vehicle. So Toyota's doing everything they can. But you know what? It's a lot harder than it used to be, for sure. Now I have hiccups. God bless America. Peter says, you don't have to say sorry for not liking the chrome. The chrome is hideous, and all vehicle manufacturing branches should stop with it. Listen, if you like chrome, you know, I'll salute to you. I just don't. I'm not a chrome guy. That's why I always loved the Pro package. Whoever came out with the Pro package, whoever was sitting at that big table in Toyota and said, I got an idea. Got a little Ivan Stewart idea for you. We're going to put this, you know, fairly middle of the road suspension on it, but we're going to make everything body color in black. I think high five to that person. If anyone from Toyota is watching and knows who came up with the TRD Pro concept, I want their name and number because I want to send them something that says thank you. That's what I want to do. James says, Tundra. Agree. Joseph says, just saw my first 2022 Tundra the other day, a limited two-wheel drive Crew Max short bed. I was not impressed at all. $56K plus. And a $10,000 market adjustment, $66,000. Insane. Keeping my SR5 TRD off-road double cab. Weird time for the automotive industry for sure. Sean D says, good evening, Mark. Very jealous you are getting to drive the new truck before me. Been seeing a few people wrap the chrome up front instead of paint. Wonder if it is cheaper. I think it is cheaper. Body wrapping now is a common thing. There's actually a guy that is local to me that does body wraps. So if I ever was to buy something that was chromed out, I'd take it right to him. I'd say, how much? Yes, please. That's exactly what I'd say. Take care of business. PD says, hi. Does that truck have heated steering wheel? And if so, is it heated all the way around? How are the heated seats? Heated steering wheel, heated all the way around. I will be honest with you. This is my second experience with a heated steering wheel. I dealt with one in a Ram. This was just as good, if not better than the one in the Ram. Heat all the way around. I think I said that. Heated seats are fantastic. Ventilated seats are fantastic. All of that is good. Elijah says, turning radius went from best in class in the second gen to worst in class for the 2022s. It really wasn't far off the 2020 Tundra, but it was off enough to let you guys know. RM says, you're not supposed to tell people that, Elijah. Toyota wants that a secret. Oh, boy. Peter says, how far back does the seat go in the reclining position? Does it go all the way down? Shall we do that test? Here we go. Here it comes, baby. We're going all the way back as far as it can go. I'm going to get off camera. This is going all the way back. Oh, my. Kind of hurts my back now. Yeah. The answer is, ow. The seat goes all the way back. Let me try to take this off for you so you see. The only reason the seat stopped is because I hit the seat. Sorry. I'm not going to get a good angle for you. But you see I'm hitting the seat back here, so we're all the way down. Hi, guys. All right. Get you back up here. Oh. got to get it set back up, and we're going to get the seat to come up. Make it look like I'm, you know. I don't know what I was doing there. I was trying to do something stupid and weird. There we go. There we go. Okay, we're back to good. Oh, man. Excuse me. So it does go all the way back until I was touching the back seats there. So you can hang out. Jimmy says, Tundra with V8, people will go nuts if it comes back. I think so. Dude Man, another great name. Bad turning radius is the deal breaker. So much for being better in urban environments. Yeah, I'm gonna take a video of that turn I was telling you about. Sean says, Dio rules. Oh, Ronnie James, baby. Come on now. Yeah, so I rock a little. Actually, I'll be honest with you. When I started doing reviews on Tundras, when I started Tundra Dude, the first song I ever used as my review song when I would get into different Tundras to test was Heaven and Hell, Ronnie James Dio. So I made sure that song went on in this truck today so I could keep up with every truck I've ever owned. So if you can blast out Heaven and Hell hard, that's how you know you got a good system. Heaven and Hell. Cody says V8 hybrid would have got me hook, line, and sinker. Cody, V8 hybrid would have got me hook, line, and sinker. Twin turbo V8 would have got me hook, line, and sinker. Joseph said, just did a chrome delete on my SR5 TRD off-road double cab. It looks great. Very good, buddy. Lee says, coffee. Dude, I live on coffee. That's what you're getting right now. Han says, I heard there is not much of a difference between hybrid power and twin turbo unless you tow. Only in that case you may benefit. I'm going to do that test myself. There will be a hybrid Tundra coming for me to test, hopefully sooner than later, once my drive shop gets that. R.I.P. to Dio. I totally agree. Ronnie James Dio was a great man, a great rocker, and he invented this. I don't care what Gene Simmons says. Lee says when you open that exhaust up, it wakes up a little bit as well. I don't care if they feed in the exhaust. It really is a good sound that they're feeding in. It's not too V8. It just sounds like a V6, like almost like a Raptor exhaust a little bit. All Terrain Nation says, finally you get in the new Tundra. Yes, Dave, I absolutely did. I absolutely did. I'm sorry about your Bengals, pal. Very sorry about them. Next year, buddy, you had a good run. It was a good game. You stayed with them the whole time. Ron says, bet it doesn't have my 2012 hard plastic door cards. Nope, doesn't have that. Everything's a soft now. There's really not too much crazy hard plastic in it. Everything in here has a soft touch to it. Okay, Terrence says, honest opinion. Tundra is still catching up to the competitors. Now that the 2022 is out, it seems like Ford and Chevy took leaps with their trucks going full electric. You know what? Other than full electric, I will say this truck has caught up to the other trucks as far as what people always talk about with features and everything. I'm happy with that aspect. The electric thing, I'm still not an EV guy. I'm not a fan of the EVs right now. So I think hybrid is a beautiful way to be right now. Hybrid is the best of both worlds. You're keeping the combustion engine. You're giving it a little hybrid power. Everybody's happy. We're saving on the fuel mileage. I don't think EV is where it needs to be. I think maybe in 10, 15 years it will be, but we should slow it down, use the hybrids for now to keep us where we need to be with emissions laws and everything, and build on the EVs a little bit more. I think we're rushing. I think we're rushing EVs out. Jason says, love your live. Hey, love your live too, buddy. I learned a lot more than I did from the dealer when I bought my 2022. Happy to help. Always happy to help. I don't work for Toyota, so love to be real. Joseph says, where's the beer, Tundra Dude? No beer in a press vehicle ever. That is the rule. So we got to drink water today. So good news is this. I still have a full water here. There's 119 of you on here with 70 likes. I thank you guys for liking the video. Once again, I'm doing it again, baby. This sip of water, this cheers goes out to all the emergency services and military of the United States and Canada, the men and women that protect us every day. Thank you for everything you do. Cheers to you. We love you. Thank you for protecting us. Just know, later on, after this live stream, I'm going to do a cheers with a beer for all of them. Al from Melbourne, Florida, first impression, is the 14-inch infotainment screen cabin overload. Yesterday, I felt like it was cabin overload. Today, I played with it a lot more and got used to it, and I feel like it fits in a lot better than it did for me yesterday. But yesterday, I thought it was an IMAX screen, and it still is an IMAX screen, but I got used to it. And that's why we're going to do constant updates. That's what it's going to be. There are going to be things I like, things I dislike, things I like in the beginning and hate later, vice versa. Jeffrey says, hey, Mark, just want to sit back and listen. Hey, buddy, hopefully in a brand new 2022 with a JBL sound system, because it's banging. Cam Neely says, hi, Mark. Still can't believe Islanders beat us the other night. Rigged. Listen, man, we don't win a lot these days, so we'll take the Boston Bruins all day long. Matthew says, every Tundra is at least 60K about. The Pro is about 70, but will hold its value much better. No. The Pros usually hold their value better because there is less production number. So that's usually the way. I like the Pro. This is the thing. It has nothing to do with the less production number. It has nothing to do with the name on the side. The reason I like the Pro so much is the setup. I like the, mid-travel setup. It's very comfortable. I like the all-body color, everything with the black aspect of it, no chrome. I think it looks awesome. That's why I like the truck. So that's me. But yes, they do seem to hold their value quite a bit better. John H. says, your videos are helpful. I appreciate you. I have a 2010 SR5 Crewmax and just put a deposit on a 2022 Limited Crewmax TRD. Blueprint, and your videos helped answer a lot of questions. Kudos. Hey, appreciate helping you out. Blueprint is amazing. This is the Supersonic Red. Didn't think I'd like it in certain lighting. Probably like right now with the sun going down. It looks amazing. Corey says, have you drove your last gen since spending time with the new truck? I drove the last gen yesterday to do the video before the new truck. And then I moved it a bunch of times in and out of the driveway today, which doesn't count. But it will be driven tomorrow 15 miles. So I'll let you know what I think. Snake says, the more videos I watch on the 2022, the more I am grateful that I bought the 2021. FMPG, it doesn't matter in the long game. Snake Plissken, guys, he escaped from LA and New York. You kind of got to listen to what he says. Corey says, can I get a shout out to my dog, Rudolph? Rudolph, what's going on, buddy? Shout out to you, my good man. Sir says, I sat on one, or you sat in one yesterday and the seats felt small and tight compared to my 21. Small, the seats do feel small and, not small, tight. There's bolt, I'm shaking you. See what happens? You shake the suspension. The seats have bolstering. They're more like a sports car seat now. I don't think they're uncomfortable. I think they hug you better. I like the seats a lot more in this. I'll be honest with you on that one. Be honest with you on everything. Being real. Things I like, things I dislike. Andrea and Dave says, great review. Don't know if I'm digging the 2022 or not. I'm hoping to figure that out over the next week. Hopefully you can figure it out too. When are you going to finally buy one? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I'm going to drive this thing around for the week. I'm going to feel it out. I'm going to see where I'm at the end of it. That doesn't mean a decision will be made if I'm going to buy one at the end of the week or not. But right now, after yesterday's drive, I'll give it to you this. After yesterday's drive, I was keeping my 2020. That's where I felt after yesterday. After today's drive, right now I'm kind of back more toward the middle because I started to figure out the things I like in it, did some adjustments, tested out more stuff. So now I'm back to the middle of where I don't know where I want to be. Still love that truck in front of me, though. George says, very, very happy for you. I already watched your last video. Enjoy. Thank you, George. I appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it very much. I can't speak. Spitz says, love my 2022 Tundra 1794. 1794, can't go wrong. The Dude says, if Toyota's aim was MPG, they should have introduced the diesel engine option. The new Silverado Sierra 1500 with the 3-liter Duramax are knocking down nearly 30 MPG consistently. I think just like the V8, they're trying to stay away from the emissions BS. Some of these other brands are doing it still, but Toyota's kind of doing the forward thinking on that, I believe. Doesn't mean it's right. That's just where I think they're going. Arham says, Mark, we all are truck guys, but considering how many times you mentioned the Camry, would you ever consider buying one as like a weekend car or fun car? One of the best cars I've ever drove was the Camry XSE V6. Had that for a test vehicle years ago, 2018 when it first came out. I love it. Would I buy it as a secondary car? Sure, but I don't really want a secondary car right now. I just want the Tundra, and I'm happy. There's too much money for 2 cars now. Reed says, hello from Nova Scotia, Canada. Hello, you have another buddy on here because there's a few Nova Scotias. Great live stream. Placing an order on a Crewmax Limited Monday, and I can't decide between Windchill Pearl and Lunar Rock. Help. Very tough. For me, if you're asking for me, Lunar Rock all day long. Love Lunar Rock. Dougie says, hello, Tundra Dude. Hey, how you doing, Doug? Teach me how to Dougie, bud. Did you check out the lightning at night? I don't know what that means. I wish the bottom cushion came out more. I could see where you're at with that. See if I could mess with this a little. That's just the seat. That's just the raise. Then you get that thigh raise thing. I'm not a real big fan of the thigh raise thing. Let's see if I get this back. There we go. Yeah, I could see that a little bit. I wish it did come out a little bit more too. Didn't think of that. High Voltage said, hey, Mark, that was a good point that the Tundra should have kept the V8, possibly work out the transmission instead of getting better gas mileage. Or instead to get better gas mileage. Yeah. Like I said, man, I really thought the V8 would hang out for a couple model years, wean people off the V8, but keeping the next gen. I bet you, and you know, that's kind of how Ford still has the 5-liter V8, right? Yeah, the Coyote 5-liter. Is it 5? Yeah, it's 5-liter. It's the Mustang engine. They still have that in there. If you go to the dealership, Toyota really does push that 3.5 and 2.7. But you know, that V8 is there if you want it. Gilmer says, hey, Mark, I have a 2020 SR5 and a checked, I don't know what you're saying there, check one 2020 TRD Pro black crew cab. That's the one I like for $55K after tax and markup to $67. I think the price went pretty high in 2020. Yeah, I mean, I get offered big money for my 2020 all the time, so I could see that. George says, my wife is around. Please let her know that it's fine if I get a 2022, please, just to push. Mrs. Garcia, how you doing? My name's Mark, okay? I'm not the Tundra dude right now. I'm just Mark. I want you to know, George here has been working really hard. He's been saying a lot of nice things about you. He really would like a 2022 Tundra. Can you please help him out with that? And just let him get this. I promise you, he won't ask for anything else for a long time. This is going to be his birthday gift, the anniversary gift, the Christmas gift, next year on all 3 of them as well. He just wants that 2022 Tundra. Can you just do me a personal favor and help him out on this one? Mrs. Garcia, I appreciate it. Hope you have a great Saturday night. He's going to take you to get a really delicious steak tonight. Anything you want, it's on him. Anything you want. Please help him out. Thank you. Thanks for watching. All right, George, hope that helped, buddy. Tori says, hey, Mark. Hello from southern Utah, just outside Zion National Park. How you doing? Good to see you, Tors. PD says, the Tundra I tested had an issue with closing the hood. It does not latch when you close it gently. Have to slam it from its high position. Did you notice anything with the hood on that truck? I opened the hood yesterday. Didn't notice that, but I will pay more attention to it. I didn't do the all the way down and then push thing, but I dropped it, you know, about boom, you know. Mark said, markups are just a huge penalty right now. I'm hoping that in a year or so, rationality will return to the truck market. One can hope. Andrew said, so 6.2 yesterday, what's the number now? Thanks, dude. It's a very good question. So what's the number? Andrew asked this in the beginning. I gave the truck a 6.2 yesterday. I would say with today's driving experience, kind of finding what I like, enjoying it more, I'm going to go ahead and say 6.2 yesterday. We're going to go 7.1. Not a full point, 7.1. I'm still working out my feelings. I want to get it out on the highway. I didn't do the highway yet. I was going to save that for you guys. The truck is very fast. The steering is a little weird to me. Going to get used to that more. So we're going to give it a 7.1 today. That's where I'm at. Somebody asked me this in the comments of another video, so I want to let you guys know. They're like, if you gave this a 6.2 yesterday, it was from yesterday's video. If you gave it a 6.2, what do you give the 2020? I give my 2020 an 8.9, 8.9 on the 2020 TRD Pro. Drivability is outstanding, and it's a lot better than it was in my 17. Drivability is outstanding. Suspension's great. Steering is amazing. Truck gets up and goes when it wants to. It doesn't get lost in the gears. Everything inside that truck is very easy to use. The 8.9 with that is more toward the drivability, the fun of driving it. Where I take away points from that truck is the lack of features on the interior. Everything's usable. Love the Entune 3.0 in that one. But it is lacking some stuff, so I got to take some points away for that. Mark says, I live in North California. Have yet to see one. I got lost there. Oh, my dealer friend is still looking for an SR5 Crew Max TRD off-road, hopefully soon. Keep your eye out there. They'll be there eventually. Oh, lighting in the cab. How's the lighting? It's getting dark in here. Let's see how the lighting in the cab is. Oh my God, why isn't the... Oh, hold on one sec. I can't find the lighting. Let's see, when I open the door, how's the lighting in the cab? I don't know. It's just okay. I mean, it's not... They're LED, so they don't have to be as big. I have insanely bright LEDs in mine. Maybe that's why I'm not a fan of it, but they're on right now. I mean, it's not completely dark yet, but back seat looks good. Back seat looks real good. You can kind of see the lighting right there. I don't know about that. Not lightning. That's probably my fault because I'm reading it too fast. MT says, do you find it harder to see stoplights out of that windshield compared to the older one? No. No. I mean, the windshield's fine. It's still gigantic. It just has an angle to it now. Dougie's laughing. The dome lights, we took care of that. Al says, Mark, not to put you on the spot, but won't you have to buy a 2022 to stay relevant on the channel? To be honest with you, I like that question. That is a tough question. I think a 2022 would matter to stay relevant, but at the same time, I do a lot of information-related stuff with my channel. It's not just what I drive. Thank God I get press vehicles all the time. So I like to bring more of Tundra information as per the Tundra than my Tundra. I would like to do a lot with the 2022. There will be a next gen in our future. It's just a matter of when. But at the end of the day, I do it for the love of the game. If people want to watch, I love the fact that they want to watch. If they don't want to watch, there's plenty of other channels out there too. You know, I love doing this, and you know, I do it with the mindset of making sure you guys have a great time as well. But I also do it because I love it. It's not a labor at all. It's a labor of love. So I like your question. Very tough one to answer, but I like it. Michael says windshield pro all day because that's what he has. Lee says at night they are very dim. We're getting darker in here. This screen is a lot lighter than it is outside. Otto says, dang, Mark, didn't know you were on. Hello from crazy I almost said California. Almost as close. Canada. Yeah, Canada's in a weird place right now. It does smell nice in here, like a brand new Toyota. It smells like every new Toyota I've ever sat in ever. George says, on my way to the dealer, I love you, Mark. Sushi. Got to go with the sushi. Go get them. Mrs. Garcia, you're a lovely lady. Thank you for helping out. Junior says, I live in Maui, Hawaii, so only one on the road so far. It's a white TRD Sport model. It looked great. Junior, what is the temperature in Hawaii right now? I'm very jealous. Dude Man says, God bless the truckers. Been through a lot in the last 2 years. That is true. PC says, never buy first year. Let them improve it, then buy. That's true. A lot of people say that. Crimson says, I was very troubled picking between last gen and waiting for the current gen, but I suspected Toyota was going to enhance the sound of the V6. Kind of glad I waited. Not as good as the V8, but better than nothing. It really isn't bad. Russ says, could use a panoramic roof. I would like a panoramic roof for sure. Reed says, is the TRD off-road package worth it? Locking diff only works in low range, $3,000 Canadian. I think they did a great job with the TRD off-road package in the way of, it used to just be shocks, you get wheels and stickers on the side. Now you get more enhancement stuff. You get the crawl control, multi-terrain select, locking rear diff, you get the sport pedals, you get the red button, you get the wheels. The wheels are amazing, the wheel and tire packages they have now. So you get a little bit more. 3,000 Canada. I mean, that's right around where it would be in the US. So it's really up to you. Just so you know, the higher you go in trim, that should come down a little bit in price with the TRD off-road package, just a little. Bunky says, I have a 2015 Crew Max and will only trade for a 2020. There you go. MT says, I feel like this has way more torque compared to my 2019. The torque is surely there. Mike says, TundraDude, watching from Hayden, Idaho. Watch all your videos. Mike, you know what I love about Idaho? I'm a huge potato guy, and I appreciate you watching, buddy. PK says, you and Gear Runner should do a collab. That would be awesome. Gear Runner's a good dude. Please tell him I said hello. For sure. Mike says, I have a 2020 Tundra Limited with Fox 2.5 coilover 3-1 lift. That's a nice setup right there. What's your thoughts? Otto says, feel smaller inside than your Pro? Yeah, a little bit smaller. Nothing, like I was talking about, there's nothing crazy in here that feels too small. It doesn't feel like a Tacoma in any way, shape, or form. It's still a nice wide truck. It just feels a little bit more narrow. But as I was saying, I feel like the old truck went like this from dashboard to ceiling. This one has more of that. So I think that's why it might feel a little bit different in here. But amazing, amazing. I'm not mad. And also, guess what's back? Guess what comes standard, boys and girls? Oh, dropping you. Let up. There we go. Sorry. It's getting dark in here. Look at that. See what that is? That is a driver side grab handle. Stock. Stock, baby. Oh. Putting you back on. It's getting real dark in here now. Huh, all right, I don't know what that white line is up there. Who cares? Can go for the V6 twin turbo. You can't go for the V6 twin turbo. Love the 5.7 V8. And these 5.7 V8s will last a really long time. So happy to see that you're happy with it. Take a sip of water. Let's try the lights again. It's getting darker now. Yeah. I mean, it's not awful. It's windy. It's just not, it's not great. The back one's pretty okay. Just from looking though, seating room looks fairly similar to what the last generation has in the back of the Crew Max. Maybe a couple inches off, but nothing too crazy. Otto says you're going to need that handle when you're at my age. Listen, I need that handle now. Totally. Dude Man says, always been a double cab fan, but the placement of the rear door handles on the 2022 would push me to a Crew Max. Looks odd. And they say the double cab is very small now in the back seats. MT says, I haven't looked back to my 2019 5.7. The new one is so much more comfy, and the interior design is much better. All right, rock and roll. If you're happy, I'm happy. Junior says, Mark, weather here on Maui is a cool 78 degrees and sunny. Another beautiful day here in paradise. Very jealous. I want to go. I've never been. Shane says, what do you think dealers will have the 2022, or when? I think it depends on where you are with the 2022s in stock, but over time you're going to start seeing them come through, I'm sure. Martin says, after seeing more and more videos, I'm glad I waited for the 2022. I do a lot of boat towing and love the new engine with the lower RPM torque for the boat ramps. I'm ordering a Platinum Black Crew Max 4x4. Can't go wrong, buddy. If you're happy, go for it. That's what I always say. Bunky says, is the 2022 a little smaller? In looking at the two trucks, I don't feel like it's a little bit smaller. The interior feels a little smaller, but as far as the truck length, it looks fairly the same. Mike says the 2022 definitely has a nice interior. It is a lot nicer, but there's nothing wrong with the 14 to 21 interiors either, you know. Really depends on that tech, boys. It's getting super dark in here now. Let's see if we can light it with this big screen. Here comes the big screen light. We're going to see if at night it can take care of business here. Oh, that cooled seat is still on. That's for sure. Hold on. IMAX screen. Hit continue. Continue. Nah, it's really not that bad at night. Let's see. Auto. On. All right. Not bad. 2022 has smaller interior, longer overall, and much longer front end. The snout of the truck, the front end is a lot smaller. But again, it doesn't feel that different than the current one, or the older one, I should say. Love the armrest and the door panel now. Totally down for the armrest because I've been using it for half of this live stream. Nice. What are your financing rates in the U.S.? Here in Canada, it's 5.9. I think the offer right now is, don't quote me, man, 2.49% for 62, 2.79 for, I could be so wrong. I think it's 2.49 and 2.79. 2.79 for 72, something like that. I haven't looked. I think if you go to your credit union, people were saying, or your own personal bank, get better rates, but I'm not sure. So this is my first time sitting in this thing at night. I like it. I like it. Lights are on. Everything looks good, feels comfortable. Got enough room for your kids back there? I don't have kids. I have a cat and a wife. But if I did have kids, plenty of room. Plenty for the boys to go to the game, you know? Hop in, let's go. Can you look at the wire grommet on the door, or in the driver door? Does it seem tighter in there than it should? Can you look at the wire grommet on the driver door? Let's see. Oh. I can't even see it. It looks, I don't think it's in the same place as the old one. Mike said, bought my 4x4 limited 2020 Crew Max when COVID was in full swing, July 2nd, 2020. The Toyota dealership could wait to sell off these Tundra trucks plus $43,000. Oh, you paid $43,000 plus tax. Not bad. Have they fixed the wastegate problem? That's still a question. People are still having issues out there right now, so we don't know. And no one's saying anything, and that's the hard part. Mike says, should have bought 2 of them. Yes. I got a good deal on my Pro. Well, that was right before COVID. I got a great deal on the 4Runner. How would you compare the ride quality to the Pro, says Shane? I actually just talked about that. The Fox suspension is very similar to the suspension on this, but this is a lot cheaper of a suspension. So that says great things about the new design with the, you know, the whole platform here. So it's very similar, especially on bumps. I was very impressed by these 20-inch wheel and tire package, or the 20-inch wheel and tire package when it came to bumps. Everything flowed together really nicely. I'm going to be going for a minute. Excuse me, I'm going to be going in a minute, but I want to show you guys the layout of the truck. If we get cut off live stream, so I'm going to pull this off, show you, flip you around here. Hold on one sec. I'm going to show you what it looks like inside the truck with the gauge cluster, and then we're going to go outside and I'm going to show you. This screenshot sucks. This is what I've had the whole thing on my holder there. So let's go outside real quick. Hold on one sec. Can't really see much out here, but just give you an idea. Back this thing up. Look at how close I've had to park to my truck. There you go. So hopefully you're still there. Hopefully we're not losing. There's the sun going down in the back. Got the lights on back here. TRD off-road. You got the tail lights there. And I have these things. This is parked right up against the fence. I'm in a driveway that has no business with 3 cars. We're all the way down there. All right, so that's it. We're going home. We're going to call it a night. There's some NASCAR on. Go hang out. Look at that sunset, baby. Yep, my big head and that sunset. I thank you guys for being here. I am going to go have an adult beverage. I want to end it the way I always end it. First off, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. You guys are the best. It's the reason I do it. It's for you. And also thanks to the emergency services and military of this great country in Canada. God bless you all. Be safe, be well. Hope you guys had fun in the 2022. If you have any questions or comments, you know what to do. Go below the video or hit me up on my social medias, and I will help you answer. And hopefully someone falls in love with the 2022 from some of my videos. TRD. You can't really see the wheels, but they look good. All right, guys, have a great one. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you.